Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about, first thing we're going to talk about is how we can do some footers. And we're used to doing footers. There's actually two different types of footers that we deal with here. One is for the slide as a whole, but the other is for handouts. And it's pretty typical for a presentation, for whoever's doing the presentation, to give handouts to their audience. So handouts are different than the actual slide themselves. So when you go to the Insert tab and you see Header and Footer, you'll see there's two tabs here. One is for slide and one is for notes and handouts. So the slide one, for example, if you pick, say, slide number, right, and then maybe we pick footer, and if I type in footer here and I just say, I don't know, I'm just going to put my name, okay, and you have the option of not showing on the title slide, okay. You could choose to have the date and time, but we'll do that for the notes and handouts. And so I'm going to say apply to all. When I do that, you'll notice that my name is now down here, and you can see the slide number there, right? If I zoom it up, maybe you can see it a little bit better. If I come down, see it? Oops, doing a bad job. See it right there? And the slide number is over here on the right-hand side. So that's different than the header and footer for your notes and your handouts. So I'm going to go over to notes and handouts. I'm going to check date and time. You have two options here. One is update automatically, which means it will automatically, whatever the current date is. So if I print this tomorrow, it would be tomorrow's date. Or fixed, and you can type in whatever date it is that you want it to be. Page number is you check it on or off, and you notice over here in the preview box it's showing you where it's going to put each of these. So if I uncheck page number, I'll see the page number is going to go in the right corner there. Date and time is in the upper right corner. Okay, so if I pick header and maybe I type my name here, and in the footer I type in, say, my first presentation, and I'm having trouble typing. Okay, and I say apply to all. So you don't see that here on this slide. Where you see that is when you go to File and you go to Print. Okay, you have a few different options here for printing, and one of them is down here. See where it says full page slides? Instead of printing your full page slides, what you want to do is print your handouts. So let's say I do 4 slides horizontal. What that will do is show me 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is where I see the header and footer that I inserted previously. Okay, so whichever one of these options I pick, I can actually see. I like the 3 slides because this gives your audience the option of having some lines to type notes into. Okay, so that's kind of a cool thing. I also want to point out here, though, that you do have the ability, so full page slide is just all your slides. You also have the notes page, and what's nice about that is if you printed this out for yourself, wherever you typed notes in, you would actually see them. So for example, here we have this little note. You would actually see your notes here on this sheet, but you'd have to print this full sheet, so that's what I don't like about that. You also have outline view, which we're going to talk about, I believe, in the next chapter. But outline view just basically shows that you an outline of what you're covering. So that's kind of a nice thing to have too, rather than separate pages for each notes. But really what you need to know for this chapter is that whole header and footer piece that I just showed you, and the difference between the header and footer for your slide as a whole versus your handouts. So that's kind of important. And since you can't print out your handouts to me, what you're going to end up having to do is take a screenshot of it. So remember your little snipping tool that allows you to do that, and then you can send me that, or your print screen. I know lots of you have used that to show me your screen with different messages on it, but the snipping tool is a good way to do that, or print screen. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you is if, and I showed you a little bit earlier, but if you are playing your slideshow, so let's say we play it from the current slide, and I'm going to bring in some text here. Okay, so now one other option that you have is if you right click, okay, I told you about show presenter view. Another thing that you, actually before I do this, hold on, I've taught you a few things about how to go from screen to screen to screen, but one thing I didn't teach you, which I think is kind of important, is let's say you have something up on the screen that is confidential. You don't want other people to see it. Somebody walks into the room quickly. What you can do is hit the B button, B for black, and you'll notice that it just blacks out your whole screen. and if you hit it again, or you hit a space bar, then it will come back, okay? And if you hit W for white, it will actually white out the screen, and again, just hit the space bar, any key, and it will come back. So that's just kind of a cool thing to know about.